Welcome, everybody, to the Off the Wall Hockey Show. It's a hockey show for hockey fans, part of the Steel Flyers All Sports Network. And we've got another week of NHL action to talk about here. Joining, as usual, is Steel as we start episode 51 here. It's amazing how many of these we have done.
I know.
Ready to go after another week of NHL action and actually a good amount of games being played, which was nice. And a fun week of hockey as it's coming to a close here tonight as we get set up for the upcoming weekend. And then it all starts over again next week, which is always great. But Steel, welcome on. Thank you so much for being here. And it's another week of the Off the Wall Hockey Show.
Very much. Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it. I can't even tell you how much of a joy it is to be here with you. I can't believe we've done 51 of these already. That's amazing. And, man, I'll tell you what, every single show just seems to get better.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. That's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah, always getting better, always trying to improve on things and bring a great show for everybody watching and listening.
Exactly.
Part of the Steel Flyers All Sports Network. Also want to thank Manscaped for their support of the show. And
very much so, yes.
Their sponsorship here of the Off the Wall Hockey Show. Don't forget, you can go to www.manscaped.com. And with the promo code OTWH, you'll get 20% off of your order plus free shipping, which these days is a big boost as well when you get the free shipping. So,
boy, I'll say for sure.
Big thank you to them for all of their support and sponsoring of the show. It's gonna get going here with top stories as we usually do, and then we'll be going into our regular segments of top shelf, hot and cold teams, 3 stars, all the good stuff. But let's get started here with top stories. And I will say it's been kind of a light week from a news standpoint with the NHL, which in some ways might be a good thing. Which
I think it kind of is.
Yeah, generally what a lot of the with what a lot of the news has been this year, I think it is a good thing to just kind of have a step back here and a chance to catch our breath. But one big thing that did happen was that the All-Star rosters were announced.
Exactly.
Obviously, with the current format, the way it's been the last few All-Star games is a 3-on-3 tournament among the divisions. So with the 4 divisions broken up, it's 3-on-3 by division. And well, I'm looking through the rosters, and boy, are there a lot of snubs this year. But looking at it, I think there's a couple things that cause that, and I think we'll get more into that as we talk about this topic as to what might cause that. I do just want to kind of go through the rosters here and just talk about some of these great players that are going to be playing in the All-Star game at the beginning of February. Starting with the Metro Division, we've got Sebastian Aho from the Carolina Hurricanes, Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers, Jack Hughes from the New Jersey Devils, Chris Kreider from the New York Rangers, and Alex Ovechkin from the Washington Capitals. Those are your forwards. Defenseman, Adam Fox from the New York Rangers, Adam Pelech from the New York Islanders, and Zach Werenski from the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then the 2 goalies are Freddie Anderson from the Carolina Hurricanes and Tristan Jarry from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Your thoughts on the Metro Division team?
Well, how about Tristan Jarry making the team as the goaltender coming out of Pittsburgh? I mean, all right.
He's having such a big year this year after kind of getting clowned in the playoffs last year.
That would be putting it mildly, I would think.
It's good to see, though. Like, I'm happy for him that he's been able to bounce back the way that he has. Because, I mean, he was getting dragged through the mud after that playoff series last year.
Okay, true. And it wasn't necessarily, you can't say, well, the defense played really bad in front of them, because they kind of did for a good part of the year. And or for stretches at a time, they did kind of play bad in front of them. It's like, let's face it, Pittsburgh's defense wasn't the best last year. Okay. I'm not saying anything, I'm not trying to take anything away from what they did. And I'm not trying to, pass the buck by any stretch of the word, but I mean, I really thought that was their weak point last year, was their goaltending all the way through. You know what I mean? Not just Jarry.
The Smith too
was. I mean, even still, I mean, I still don't really have any like faith in those goalies. I have faith in the team as a contender because, gosh, it doesn't matter who's missing on the team. They're still able to just put a good team out there and still win. You know, so that doesn't matter. But man, I still question the goaltending. I guess maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I feel like, I mean, obviously he was bad in the playoffs. Like that playoff series, the glove hand getting beat over and over and over again, glove side. Like he was bad in the playoffs. And goaltending is such a mental position. And goaltenders' psyches a lot of time are so fragile, and like it takes one little thing, and all of a sudden they can't stop a beach ball. And then when they're zoned in, when they get zoned in, they're a brick wall, and they're only giving up like one goal a game. And it's such a fragile line for goaltenders of going from one extreme to the other. And I was kind of wondering, you know, what was Tristan Jarry going to be like this year after everything that happened in the playoffs last year and all the blame that was placed on him, and you know, kind of how he got dragged at the end of the year through the mud by the media and the fans and everybody going for his throat. And he's come back and put up a Vezina caliber season so far this year, and I think that speaks volumes about Tristan Jarry.
The fact that you said that, okay, seriously, the fact that you said that he's in the conversation, okay, speaks of the huge 180-degree turnaround that he's had since last year.
Yep.
I mean, he wasn't the best goaltender last year. He put together, I believe it was like 1 month where he was pretty good, and then that was about it. But for the most part, he got bailed out a lot by the team. They just were able to score more and do more and be the better team. You know what I mean? It's not like he wasn't letting in, you know, a whole slew of weak goals, but he would let in those goals that would, you know, those are the goals you need to stop.
Yeah, his numbers this year are his goals against and save percentage so much better this year. Last season he had a 2.75 goals against, which is fine, but that's like an average goaltender.
Right.
This year it's 2.05.
Much different.
Yeah, his save percentage last year was 909, which again is like fine. It's an average number.
I mean, yeah.
It's okay. It's not great. This year, 929.
Yeah, see, that's big time different.
Huge difference in Jarry this year from last year.
The Vezina Trophy was handed out to a goaltender that had a 912 save percentage last year, so anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the conversation, but he's definitely an interesting story with him making the team. You know, obviously some of these guys I think are kind of here because every team has to send one player.
See, that's the thing too. Gosh, what is with that? I mean,
because I get why the league does it from a viewership standpoint. They want every team to be represented. I think MLB does the same thing with their All-Star game in baseball. I think every team has to send at least one player. It's a viewership thing. Like, they want fans from all the different teams to be watching. They want fans, especially kids. I mean, let's face it, the All-Star game is basically for people like 18 and under. Like, this is a kid-driven revenue event or just watch event for the NHL, where they're trying to get younger kids involved in the game and watching and it's something that's fun for kids. Like, I don't know many like middle-aged people that are like, oh man, I can't wait for the NHL All-Star game. Like, it's generally a thing for kids to watch.
Yeah, that's not a big ticket item for the adult crowd, is it? I mean,
But kids want to see the star players and do all these flashy moves and show off their skills, and it makes kids want to do that when they're playing hockey and stuff too.
That's true.
That's what this event is for.
Okay, but then again, they put it in Vegas, so they are definitely trying to market it to the adult crowd, I guess. I mean,
well, I think the players are certainly happy it's in Vegas.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. They get to have a cool little break in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right, which that was probably part of the collective bargaining agreement. Like, what?
Vegas is also
we're
a
having
new
the All-Star game in Vegas. Yeah, we need to have like 5 days off for that game.
And they also, Vegas is a new team, relatively new, 2017. So, you knew that they were going to get an All-Star game early on, again, to just try and build the fanfare around the team.
Especially new building and everything, too.
I'm sure Seattle will be getting one within the next, 3 to 4 years, too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or the draft or something.
But for the most part, I think this is an event that's mostly geared towards kids, skills, just having fun and getting them involved in hockey and enjoying hockey. But so that's why they want fans of every team and kids from every team to be able to enjoy this. That's why they send a player from every team. But Nathan McKinnon came right out and said it today that it's silly. He says it's an all-star game, not a participation game. And he was like that because he was talking about Nazem Kadri not making the All-Star team, who's literally top 5 in the league in points and isn't an All-Star, which make any sense of that. But McKinnon was basically like, it's silly. You should take the best players, no matter who they're from, what team they're from, where they're from. The best players should be going to this, and he doesn't like the rule where one team has to send everybody, and it's basically like a participation trophy. Because, honestly, we've just looked through the Metro division. Like, I love Adam Pelech. He's a good defenseman, but there are a lot of players from the Metropolitan Division, and sorry, Islanders fans, I know there's a lot of you on this channel, but there's a lot of players from the Metro that deserve to be going to the All-Star game that aren't.
Yes.
That are more deserving than Adam Pelech. Nobody from the Islanders has really played like an all-star this
year. I'm with you, and I will say this too as well, that there's only a select handful of players as well too. Like when you look at the Flyers, Giroux has actually played like an all-star this year, leading the team and everything else like that. So he's actually playing like an all-star. But I mean, nobody really else is other than maybe Cam Atkinson. Other than that, really, that's it. And then who else you got? Pittsburgh, because Sidney Crosby's missed a large chunk of time. Malkin's missed time. Do you know what I mean? So they've had guys there. Gentel's missed time. They've had guys there that have missed time. So they don't have the numbers that they probably should.
Jerry's the only Penguin.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, now it's opening the doors up for these other teams. See, I'm kind of with him because, look, if you're gonna make it an all-star game, then make it an all-star game and select the top guys from each, from each conference. The East and the West, okay? And if you want to break it up by division, cool. Then you pick the top 4 or 3 guys, whatever, from each division, and then if you want to do the 3-on-3, then do it that way. But I would still select the best guys no matter what. And the only way to do that is to look at them statistically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at guys who are, high in the league in points that didn't make the All-Star teams. Well, so far haven't made the All-Star teams. There's a caveat. There's the last man in vote.
Last man in,
fans get to vote on over the next few days. But Nazem Kadri, 4th in the NHL in points, not an All-Star. Now, he might win the last man in vote. I've already made all my last man in votes for Nazem Kadri for the Central, but 4th in the league in points, not an All-Star. That just doesn't make sense to me. Steven Stamkos in the Atlantic, 6th in the league in points, not an all-star. Brad Marchand, 7th in the league in points, not an all-star. Mikko Rantanen, tied with Kirill Kaprizov for 8th in the league in points, not an all-star.
Wow.
Now, this is happening because of the rule where one team has to send everybody. They're filling up those spots before you can even get to these other players. The other thing is that the rosters seem, with this current format, and only 11 players, including the last man in vote winner, going for each team, it feels like there's not that many all-star spots. Because when you think about it, every team has to send one player. There's 8 teams in every division. So 8 of the 11 spots are taken by just one player from every team, which means you only have 3 spots left for all the other great players in the rest of that division. When you, after one from each team, you only have 3 spots left. I mean, it's really hard to actually make an all-star game at this point.
So I think with that being said, maybe they have to change the format. I mean, didn't they used to have back in the day, when they had all the divisions where they all had different names to the divisions and each division was able to send a team? Like, not just 3 guys. I'm talking about, forwards, defense.
Well, yeah, there's 11 on each team now. There's 4 teams, 11 players from each team.
On each of the divisions.
Yeah.
For the 3-on-3.
Yeah,
right?
Like they have multiple lines to play.
Well, 2, 3 lines. And
there's
a goalie and an extra guy.
5 forwards, 3 D, 2 goaltenders, and then whoever wins the last man in for the Metro. That's who goes. It used to just be East versus West.
Right.
It used to just be Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. Best players would go. And then, now they did the fantasy draft thing, which I actually loved. I thought that was hilarious, and actually gave them the extra night of televising the fantasy draft, then having the skills competition, and then having the game. So they got a third night out of it. I loved that format, but they only stuck with that for a couple years.
Yeah.
I wish they'd go back to that. That's been my favorite all-star format out of everything, was when they had the captains from each side, and then they got to pick their team. And I thought that was hilarious. I loved watching the players pick each other for their team and stuff.
I know. That was great. In fact, that was they did that with guest or wasn't it Gretzky's team versus something like that?
I think one year they did something like that where they had celebrity coaches or guest coaches. And,
and then the captains or whatever got to pick the guys, or whoever got to pick the guys for the team.
Yeah, they would have the pool of players that were voted all-stars, and then you got to pick, they do a draft. They go back and forth picking who was on each team. I love that.
I like that too. I think that would be great, because now you get even more fan voting, because not only do you vote for the players to get in, but now you vote for which team they go on to. So, I mean, it's they should probably have the NHL guys talk to us.
Well, anyway, there's a lot of snubs this year. I guess that was one of the biggest thing I wanted to point out, was that
being Stamkos, being Marchand, being, those names that are being snubbed.
Yeah,
because
there are top 10 points. There are guys who are top 10 points in the league and not going to the All-Star game. There are guys who are top goal scorers in the league not going to the All-Star game. Or
that's crazy.
Maybe they'll get the last man vote in. I mean, Troy Terry, what a year he's had. He's in the last man in vote for the Pacific Division. He's not an All-Star. According to at least as of right now, he's not an all-star, which to me is just mind-boggling. But
and here's the other thing too. Usually you get I don't know, 4 or 5 guys from each side usually bow out. They'll have an injury, or
they have to have an injury, because you can't just skip it, or else you get suspended for that one game. But
okay, but we've seen Ovechkin take the suspension.
Yeah, Ovechkin has bowed out before. Or, there's always I have a sprained knee, or my hamstring got pulled at practice and they have an injury and they don't go. There's always a few guys that usually end up not going.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. So you are going to have a percentage of those guys that are not going to go because of that reason. And some of them are legit, injuries happen, stuff happens.
Some guys actually are injured and do get hurt.
Yeah.
Some other guys kind of make up the injury so that they don't go. And then
right.
I feel like most of the time, though, players are generally happy to go.
Yeah. They always seem to have a great time when they're there. They always get to bring their families and their kids, and they always seem to have a great time. And there's always a lot of social media posting from the players and taking pictures with everything, and then watching the skills competitions and everything, and having their kids down there on the ice while they're daddy's out there skating around, I mean, come on. That's just must-see TV right there. I mean, I don't know, I guess. I love watching the skills competition, and I also agree with you. I love the idea of them picking from the pool of players that are from the All-Star games.
Well, it's funny you bring up the skills competition, because I personally like the skills competition way more than the actual All-Star game itself.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way around the hockey world. Like, I love the skills competition. That's one of my favorite events of the year. And the game itself, I'll probably stream it or whatever. Like, it is what it is. It's fine. Like, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but it's fine. The skills competition.
Rushing up there to get that on the schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm not if something else comes up, I don't have to watch the All-Star game. But the skills competition, I love. And that's one of my favorite events of the year. I'm always trying to watch the skills competition.
I will, even if I don't get a chance to see it, I will go back and watch it.
Yeah.
They always post everything either on YouTube, or I've seen it now. I've watched it on NHL Network.
Yep.
Where they'll re-air the show, the broadcast of the skills competition. Mm-hmm. So, I'll make sure that I get to record it, and I'll sometimes watch, but I always make sure I watch it every year. I always watch that because I like to see the guys skate.
Yep.
I like to see the guys stick handle.
Oh yeah.
And I love to see the guys shoot.
Mm-hmm.
The target practice, right?
The accuracy shooting has always been one of my favorite events. That and the breakaways, because they always are coming up with crazy stuff on the breakaways.
Oh my gosh, those things are so crazy. I mean, watching Patrick Kane the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
And some of the antics that they've done during that All-Star game has been really, I mean, that's what it's about, man. It's about having some fun.
Exactly. All right, I want to go through the rest of the teams here just so we get them all read off. Atlantic Division, Drake Batherson from Ottawa, Patrice Bergeron from Boston. I'm honestly a little surprised Bergeron got it over Marchand, because Marchand's been the more important player and the better player for the Bruins.
Well,
But Bergeron's getting... See, this is where I think kind of there are other motives that come into this. Bergeron, this might be his last chance. He's getting up there in age.
And he might not be there next year.
37 years old, this might be his last shot. So it feels like one of those things where they're going to send Bergeron because they know this might be his last time.
That's true. I mean, I was kind of thinking that too when I looked down and I said, oh, it's going to be Claude Giroux. But then when you look at Claude Giroux's numbers, he's actually not doing that bad.
Yeah, no, he's had a solid year.
He's had a pretty solid year. I mean, of all the guys on the Flyers, he's probably one of the few that you would potentially consider.
Yeah.
As an All-Star.
Somebody had to go, so Giroux.
Yeah, or maybe Cam Atkinson. He probably could qualify. Mm-hmm. He's had a pretty solid year. He's got double-digit goals already. You know what I mean? So I mean, he's not doing too bad as far as being in the All-Star conversation. I'll say that. You know what I mean?
So Jonathan Huberdeau goes from Florida, Dylan Larkin from Detroit, Austin Matthews from Toronto, Nick Suzuki from Montreal rounds out the forwards. Defense, Rasmus Dahlin and Victor Hedman, Buffalo and Tampa Bay. And then goaltenders, Jack Campbell and Andrei Vasilevsky from Toronto and Tampa Bay. So goaltenders, I think they got right. That was I feel like out of all of the positions, I think of all the positions, the most correct is definitely the goaltenders for the most part.
I think the forwards are too.
Yeah. I mean, again, they have to, when you take the whole consideration of having to send one from every team, yeah, they're kind of handcuffed by that a little bit. Central Division, Kyle Connor from Winnipeg, Alex DeBrincat from Chicago, Kirill Kaprizov from Minnesota, Clayton Keller from Arizona, Jordan Kyrou from St. Louis. I'm glad they sent Kyrou because he is extremely deserving.
Agreed. Agreed.
Nathan McKinnon from Colorado, Joe Pavelski from Dallas. Good to see him get one. He's 37 now. So nice to see him going. He's had a big year too.
He's done really well too.
Yep. Kale McCarr, the only defenseman from the Central Division. Kale McCarr from Colorado, the only D on their roster. I kind of hope that, as much as I want Nazem Kadri to go because he's literally like fourth in the league in points, they almost need to vote in another defenseman for the Central just so that they have a second D man. Either that or like one of these forwards looking back. Probably Pavelski will end up like playing kind of defense, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe.
Then Saros and Talbot are the goaltenders. Saros is an obvious choice. I'm a little surprised Cam Talbot's going as the second goaltender, but when you look around the Central Division, I don't think there was a real clear second goalie. Obviously, like Saros has been the best goalie in the Central this year. After that, I mean, I feel like maybe you could have switched Talbot and possibly Bennington with the year that St. Louis is having, but I feel like they're pretty comparable.
It's probably a coin flip.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a coin flip decision, and Talbot's never been before, so he's
right. And Bennington's been right.
I don't remember.
I don't think he's been
year after they won the cup. Was he there in 2020? That would have been the only year that he would have been there.
Oh, I don't think he was there at the All-Star for that.
That was actually the last All-Star game that actually happened because
so he wasn't there at that one
last year.
I don't think he was at the 2020 one.
Well, I feel like Bennington would be like the only other goalie that could have competed for that second spot, but
okay, yeah, I'd agree.
Talbot ends up going, and then in the Pacific,
that's what I mean. I would think more Bennington. You know what I mean? But flip a coin.
Pacific Division, obviously McDavid and Draisaitl, Jordan Eberle from Seattle, Johnny Gaudreau from Calgary, Adrian Kempe from LA. He's having a really nice year. First All-Star appearance for him. Timo Meier from San Jose and Mark Stone from Vegas. Again, only one defenseman in the Pacific as well. Alex Pietrangelo from Vegas, the only D-man on the roster. And then John Gibson in goal and Thatcher Demko in goal. The only thing that kind of surprised me about the Pacific was Gibson going in ahead of Markstrom from Calgary. I thought Markstrom might be the second goalie there.
Well,
although he's kind of faded.
I was just gonna say, he started out of the gates really well, but
he's faded.
He's faded.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean, though, as far as that's concerned, because those 5 shutouts and the way he came in here and played against the Eastern Conference and that swing that they did at the beginning of the year, and that's pretty impressive. So, I mean, the guy knows how to stop the puck, and he just kind of seems like he's a streaker.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season. But I kind of see why they went instead of Markstrom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, Gibson's had a really solid year too. So.
Oh my gosh, man! He's
Anaheim's not in a playoff spot.
I was just gonna say he is the reason why Anaheim is even where they are is because of what he's done.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I don't want to spend the whole show, obviously, on the All-Star game, but those are the rosters.
Why not?
Last
No, I'm
man
just kidding.
vote in is going on now. I've already voted today. You guys can vote. You can do up to 10 ballots per day. And I believe voting goes through Monday. So over this weekend, you can vote each day. And
Okay.
You just go to NHL.com. I think it's /vote.
The last man. Hold on, I'm there. Hold on, I'll let you know.
I think it's just /vote, or it might be /All-Star vote. I don't remember.
Vote for 4 more All-Stars. It's All-Star ballot.
Oh yeah. Oh yep. Well, if it comes right up if you type in NHL.com/vote as well. It will come up. You get a screen that just says vote for 4 more All-Stars. You pick one player on the last man in ballot from each division that you want to vote in, and you can vote up to 10 times for that player per day, and then they'll maybe win the last man in vote and actually get to go to the All-Star game and join that divisional team. But that's going on right now. All-Star game's coming up for early in February. I think it's February 5th or something like that, if I remember correctly. But it's going to be a fun time, and we're going to get to see some of the league's best players get to really showcase their skills and ability. And then obviously we've also, because of them being handcuffed by every player having to send a team, and also the rosters being relatively small, we've seen some really, really good players get snubbed this year and not get to go.
Well, the fact that you have, the names on this list, on the list of players that are for the last man standing.
Yeah.
Let's just take a quick little Mark Giordano, Jonathan Marchessault, Jake Gensel, John Tavares, Steve Stamkos.
See, I think Stamkos should be going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Alexander Barkov.
See, Barkov's another guy, and you can only vote for one of them. Barkov.
Charlie McAvoy. Why isn't Charlie McAvoy? What?
No, he's the defenseman from the Atlantic. Who went from the Atlantic?
Troy
Rasmus
Terry.
Dahlin, Victor, and Victor
Troy
Hedman.
Terry on the what?
Yeah, Troy
Kadri.
Terry, another guy that should have been going anyway, but you can still vote him in.
Yeah, well, you can only do that, 600 times from now until Monday. But
anyway,
the fact that the snub list is, I think, kind of a who's who of all-stars, and that this would be a much better list.
You know what they should do?
Play these guys.
They should have a snub team that goes in and plays the winner, and then you see if the snub team beats the winning team from the divisions.
Yes.
That would be epic.
Yes.
They should make a team of the snubs and take 11 of the best snubs, regardless of division. Like, just take the 11 best all-star snubs and put them against whichever division wins the tournament, and they play each other. And I bet you the snub team would have a chance to win.
Yes. I wouldn't even say I bet you they'd have a chance to win. I would pretty much almost guarantee they would win.
That would be so epic.
Because they would have way more want to, because they got snubbed.
They should not even tell anybody about it, and it should be like a WWE entrance where, like, after the last game, like, let's say the Central Division wins, like, the Central Division thinks that they've won, and then all of a sudden you hear, like, the glass breaking, like Stone Cold Steve Austin's gonna walk in, and this like all-star snub team just skates out onto the ice and is like, entrance music starts playing, and they're just like, let's go, boys, you're gonna have to beat us now. That would be the most epic thing to ever happen in NHL All-Star history.
I'm with you on that, man. I would definitely want to be front row center for something like that.
Oh, that would be incredible. Even if, like, they only played one period, like, that would be absolutely hilarious. And just talk about having fun. Like, the snub team comes in and beats the winner.
I'd pay for that all day, man. I would pay for that all day, man. Are you kidding? That's a great idea. Come on. Like I said, NHL, are you guys listening? Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
That
What
would
a
be
great
really,
idea.
really funny and a
Oh my
lot of fun to
gosh.
watch for sure.
It would. Because now you would give an opportunity to all these guys that got snubbed
Yeah.
who are at the same level, if not some of them are better than the guys that they have on the list now. So it's like, really?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I raise you the list that you picked to play against the snubs.
Yeah.
Right, and they can have a special jersey that's they're the snubs.
They're the snubs. That would be absolutely fantastic. All right, I don't want to. Again, we're all right, and we've gone a ton with All-Star here. There's actually another team that's been announced as well, and that's the U.S. Olympic team. So obviously now we know NHL players are not going. And Team USA has selected their team. A lot of college kids, which I absolutely love to see. A lot of college kids going to represent Team USA. We'll go through here. Some of these names you might recognize. Some of them you may not. Forwards are Nick Abruzzi from Harvard.
I'm not going to make you say that one again.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Abruzzi.
Woo.
Yeah, Kenny Agassino, former Providence Bruin, longtime AHL, now playing in the KHL. He's going. Matty Beniers, second overall pick in this past draft.
There you go. That's
Brendan
a good one.
Brisson, his teammate from Michigan, also going. Noah Cates, Minnesota Duluth. He's going.
Yeah, there you go.
Sean Farrell, another Harvard guy. He's going. I'm actually preview for later in the show. I'm going to be talking about Sean Farrell. Sam Hentges from St. Cloud State, Matthew Nyes from Minnesota, Mark McLaughlin from Boston College, Ben Myers from Minnesota, Andy Mealy, another longtime AHL guy who's now playing in the KHL, Brian O'Neill, another longtime minor leaguer now in the KHL, Nick Shore, another kind of tweener who's ended up in the KHL, and Nathan Smith from Minnesota State. On defense, we've got Brian Cooper, who's over playing in the Swedish League. Never made it as an NHL guy. Brock Faber currently goes to University of Minnesota. A lot of Minnesota players, a lot of Michigan players, a couple of Boston College players, couple of Harvard players. Drew Hellison from BC. Stephen Camphor, former Boston and Providence Bruin, among other teams, now playing in the KHL. Aaron Ness, current Providence Bruin, will be going. Nick Perbix from St. Cloud State, another St. Cloud State player. Jake Sanderson, obviously highly touted defensive prospect for the Ottawa Senators from North Dakota. And David Warsofsky, another former Providence Bruin and former Boston University Terrier who had been playing in the DEL in Germany. He'll be going to the Olympics as well. And in goal, Drew Comesso from Boston University. Strauss Mann, who's playing in the SHL over in Sweden, and Pat Nagel from Lehigh Valley in the AHL will be the three goaltenders. So Team USA has a very college-heavy roster here, which, again, I'm a huge fan of and really like to see. But they also have some veteran guys mixed in, some guys with a little bit of NHL experience and a lot of minor league experience on this roster. Guys like Kenny Agostino, Andy Mealy, Brian Cooper, Aaron Ness, Steve Camphor. So they do have that veteran presence mixed in, but a lot of college kids.
They have nine players from specific 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 players from college.
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? When you're putting out 14 forwards, 8 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders, and 15 of those players are from the NHL or NCAA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Also, a couple of guys that are playing in Europe, and then a couple more guys playing in the AHL. So not a bad team, all things considered.
No, I like it. I think this team should medal, I think.
You think so?
I think this team will medal, yeah. I like that they brought teammates. Like, When you
from
see the
Boston.
college kids, they brought
Yeah.
multiple from these
And
schools.
from
Like, they
Michigan,
didn't bring
yeah.
one Harvard guy. They brought a couple Harvard guys. They brought
Yeah.
a few Michigan guys. They brought a bunch of Minnesota guys.
Yeah.
They brought, a couple of Boston College guys. Like, so they know each other. They're comfortable with each other. They can probably play on the same line or D-pairing together. And they're going to have that familiarity. And I think that's going to help them, especially, this is probably as exciting of an experience as it is. It's probably a little bit nerve-wracking as well, especially if you're, 18, 19, 20 years old, and having a friend there, a teammate that's not just your teammate on Team USA, but your teammate, wherever you normally play as well, I think is going to be really comforting and help a lot of these young players.
Exactly. And something else I would like to point out, too, is that a lot of the players that are on this team have had other letters on their sweaters at various stages of their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And so.
I gotcha.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't think it was me, though. I don't know.
No.
So yeah, that we got gusts up to 30. Plus, we have calling for some kind of storm, I guess, on Sunday night.
Yeah, we're supposed to get a big storm Monday.
Yeah, Sunday into Monday is what's going on. So.
I think we're back.
I think we are too.
Yeah. All right, so last top story is the return of Evgeny Malkin, finally.
Wow.
Yeah, it's taken, obviously, into January, into the new year, which I think is a little bit longer than initially expected.
Maybe.
But he's returned for Pittsburgh, and talk about a boost to that lineup for a team that was already having a very solid year and, still, holding their own without him, and certainly looking like a playoff team in the Metro Division. Now they get Evgeny Malkin back. He already has 3 points in 2 games, and he's only been back for a couple games.
I mean, that's like getting Kucherov back from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of a boost that's going to be for their team? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, so the rich get richer.
Yeah.
And you knew at some point he was going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At some point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'll tell you what, this I think is going to potentially put Pittsburgh over the top. Mm-hmm. They have a shot now, I think.
Yep.
Especially if Malkin's playing the way he's been playing the last couple games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just it's another weapon, and like not just a weapon, but like a lethal weapon returning to an already very good lineup. And another guy who, I mean, Malkin's getting a little bit older and whatnot, but he's a guy who throughout his career has at times been one of the top players in the NHL, and obviously has a tremendous skill set and a tremendous ability to play make and score goals, and just a huge asset to the lineup that an already good team is now getting even better. It's like when Jack Eichel returns for Vegas. You have an already good team who's just going to get even better. And I think that's what we have here with Malkin returning for the Penguins.
Like I said, I think it's going to put Pittsburgh over the top because now you're starting to see the top teams in the Metro are starting to bunch up a little bit now.
Yeah, very much so.
You know what I mean? And you're starting to get, even though they're kind of breaking away from the pack, they're still kind of pretty close.
Yeah, there's a top 4 and a bottom 4 in the Metro, and there's a pretty good gap between them. There's 12-point gap between them, actually. But the top 4 are all within 5 points.
Yeah.
So, like, that top four has separated themselves, but they haven't separated from each other. They're all stacked on top of
That's what I was trying to say.
Exactly,
yes, they've separated from the rest of the teams in the division, but they've still remained within 5 points of each other.
Yes.
Pittsburgh being the furthest back and fourth at 47 points, and the Rangers at 52.
And not even that far back.
Now, let me ask you something. Who would have thunk the Rangers?
I didn't have the Rangers in first, that's for sure. I did have the Rangers as a playoff team. I did not have them in first.
I did not have them only losing 10 games and 4 overtime. I just did not see that this year for the Rangers. I mean, I thought they were going to be improved, but not first place.
Yeah, no, I think in my predictions I had the Rangers second or third. I don't remember. It might have been third. Definitely did not have them in first place. I was not expecting.
I think I had them. Yeah, I don't think you had them in first place. I think, you had them like second or third. I think I had them like third or fourth.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting them to be this good. They're having a very, very good season.
So kudos to the Rangers.
Yeah, big time.
But getting Malkin back, though, I mean, good gravy. That's just...
It makes that division even tougher.
It does, because now if... And, Pittsburgh has one game in hand against the Rangers, and 2 games in hand against the Rangers, and one game in hand against the Capitals.
Yep.
So, hey, and they're a plus 22 on the differential side, so they're playing really well. I mean, I think this is going to put them over the edge, man. I really do. I think they have a shot now with everybody getting healthy.
Yep.
For Pittsburgh, and being able to string some more wins together. I mean, they just came off of a 9-game win streak? Or a 10-game win streak?
Pittsburgh put 10 in a row together before that loss to Dallas. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I mean, they went from 10-8-5 to 21-10-5.
Yeah.
In the last 12 games. You know what I mean? So now with Malkin back, I think that's definitely going to help put them over the top.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a big boost to the Penguins roster, and great to see him back healthy. Great to see him back playing, and obviously playing very well already. As he's got 3 points in his first 2 games back, so it hasn't taken him long to get back to being Evgeny Malkin.
I mean, like it didn't take Kucherov long either. He came back that first game back to playing in the playoffs, and he's had 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like when you practice with the team for a couple of weeks until you finally get up to speed, quote unquote, then I guess it makes it all right. But there you go. That's kind of what I think's going on there.
Yeah, they don't forget how to play hockey, that's for sure.
No, I mean, they might not be as crisp on the passes, but they don't forget how to play hockey.
That's for sure. All right, so that's going to bring us to the end here of Top Stories. We're going to head into a commercial break as we hear from our show sponsor, Manscaped. But when we come back, we'll be going into our regular segments. We'll have Top Shelf coming right up where we do our power rankings. It always is a ton of fun. But first, here's a word from Manscaped. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the show, and we'll be right back.
Ho, 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 gentlemen. The holidays have come early this year as Manscaped has the gift that keeps on trimming. Santa's beard isn't so appealing when it's coming out of the top of your trousers, and that's why Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have you covered this holiday season. Now available in your country, join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to keep their trees trimmed and ornaments polished. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code STEELFLYERS to get 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. Jingle balls to the walls, fellas, and listen up. It's time to kill 2 birds with 1 trimmer and get yourself and your lady a gift. And I'm talking about the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the Signature Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to reduce cuts on your nuts. It's also waterproof so you can use it in the shower. It's like a gift to your partner with less mess. Take care of the family jewels with great tools from Manscaped, as your boys are bathed in skin-safe technology to reduce cuts and nicks on your look good in the bedroom with the Performance Package by Manscaped. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 also includes a Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant moisturizer and toner. This hygiene bundle also comes with a pair of Manscaped anti-chafing boxers that is the perfect wrapping for your presents. The Manscaped Performance Package comes with all the tools to clean up all those delicate areas. Included in this new package is the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which is waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. Nobody, not even Santa, wants hairs under their chimney. Manscaped is going beyond the groin with their new refined cologne, which offers a light yet masculine pleasing fragrance that'll leave your lady on the naughty list this year. It's made with all hypoallergenic ingredients that are vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, and paraffin-free. 'Tis the season to load up on products from Manscaped. So get yourself, your dad, your brother, and your friends the best gift of all, the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code SteelFlyers at manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SteelFlyers at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code SteelFlyers, SteelFlyers. Clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year.
And we are back. Big thank you again to Manscaped for being a show sponsor here on the Off the Wall Hockey Show. And it's time now, Steel, to get into our regular segment, starting with one of our favorites, Top Shelf, our power rankings of the best teams in the NHL. And, well, I like this new point percentage thing we're doing here. It just takes the guesswork out of it. It takes the opinion out of it, really. It's just a mathematical list of top point percentages in the NHL. So we got the same list again, and I guess we can go here 5 through 1.
Well, okay. So, like, if you do it the other way, like what we were doing before, like the way we were doing it before. Wait, hold on. Let me put it the way it's there. Okay. So if you do it the way we're doing it now, because not every team has played the same number of games.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has played 39 games, whereas Carolina has only played 34 games. Colorado's only played 33.
Yep.
Minnesota's only played 33 games. St. Louis and Washington have both played 37. So you're going to have this huge swing in difference in number of games played.
Yep.
Okay, so you can't do it on the points anymore now, which is really going to skew the way they seed the teams now. Don't you think? Because, riddle me this first before we get into this. We're doing it now by winning percentage.
Point percentage.
I'm sorry, point percentage. Right? So point percentage has our list, right? Well, the number one quote unquote team is not the number one team. The number 10 team is not the number 10 team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but once every team plays the same number of games, like when we get
then
to 82 at
out.
the end of the season, it's going to even out. But what point percentage does during the year is just takes away the games in hand issue.
Yep. Yeah, it does. It does. And it gives you a good view of who is who and where they should be ranked as far as their top shelf power rankings. So,
yes,
John, my man, who do you got at number 5?
The Toronto Maple Leafs. They dropped a couple spots from last week, and their loss to Arizona definitely didn't help. But again, this is just a mathematical thing at this point. They're now 23-9-3 on the season and have a point percentage of 700 on the dot. So 700 is really 70%, but 700 on the dot. And yeah, Toronto did drop a little bit. They were third last week, and they're now fifth. But still top 5 team. And it's
Still
funny,
top five.
there are only 5 teams in the NHL with a point percentage of 700 or higher, and there are these 5
They're the
teams.
top
So
5 teams that we're going to talk about.
Toronto comes in at 5 with a 700 point percentage on the dot at 23-9-3, and obviously, one of those losses that you'll get laughed at when you lose to Arizona. But at the end of the day, it's only one loss, and out of an 82-game season, it's gonna be okay.
When you look at it like, okay, so you lose that one game to Arizona, but yet you win a game against Vegas.
Yeah.
So, okay, you got to take the up and the down, right?
Exactly. You beat a very good team in Vegas, and then you lose to Arizona. It's like, things like that are gonna happen.
That night, huh?
Things like that are gonna happen throughout the season. People overreact and read into that so much.
Agreed.
Carolina last night getting absolutely blasted by Columbus.
Oh,
absolutely blown out of the building.
Yeah.
But it's one game. It doesn't Carolina doesn't stink now because they lost that game. They're
right?
still 24-8-2 on the season. It's one game. Everybody needs to calm down. Those things are going to happen throughout a year, especially an 82-game season that's as long as an NHL season is. It's going to happen. And I feel the same way about Toronto's loss to Arizona. It's funny. You can make fun of them for it, but it's one loss out of an 82-game season. They're still a top 5 team. And they're still getting, they're still right up there with the best and the best in the league.
Exactly. And
all right, number 4.
Number 4, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes.
And they are among the other elite teams that are starting to separate themselves from the rest of the league. And that's kind of what I think this 700 club is what I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
Okay. Because every single one of these teams that are in the top 5 are in the 700 percentile point club. Okay. Yeah. Meaning that they've all won 70% of their games or higher. So that's why we're calling them the 700 club. And Tampa Bay is number 4 now because they have a 705 percentile point.
Yes.
At 25-9-5. And, they didn't play their best game the other night either.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they've had a pretty good week.
Yep.
All things considered. Do you know what I mean? So, 1 or 2 games that you're going to, it's 82 games. So you're going to have a couple of stinker games in there too.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't matter because they're winning the games they're supposed to be winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're doing it with a fairly good regularity.
Yeah.
I really like that Kucherov has come back. I can't believe that Stamkos is not picked.
Yeah, I know. That's such a...
that's just unbelievable. That he's not even being picked. But the amount of talent throughout the Tampa Bay roster still, it's like they don't go into, it's like they kind of have that mentality. They're the defending champs. They go into the building already assuming they're going to win.
Yep.
Right? It's that mentality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why number 4 for Tampa Bay. Okay. It's the Russian roulette of internet.
I don't understand it. And I don't understand why it happens at the same time. Just went out again.
Yep.
Now it's back.
Now it's out. Well, bummer.
Oh, I'm getting... Streamlabs says it's going. Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Skype's working fine?
Yeah.
Everything's working except YouTube now.
Great.
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Do you want to do a abbreviated version tomorrow? It's up to you. I mean, I don't know.
I don't like No, we're on now. We're up. We're back.
Okay.
Let's just.
Hey, all right, we're back.
We're back. Let's just do the rest. I'm getting so fed up with this on the internet being. Anytime the wind blows, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's getting really aggravating.
It is.
Oh, it's back. I don't understand. It's the same time too, which is really fishy to me. Is that it's literally like 8:45 until 9:30. It's that gap every night.
But we've never had a problem except for the last
2 weeks. Like I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
And it's the exact same time both weeks.
Yeah, it was like right at, like almost as we get to the hour mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly the same both time.
I don't know what to do, man.
I don't either. And I don't know what's causing it.
Right. I don't either.
If I knew what it was, it'd be easy to fix, but I don't know what's causing it, and I didn't have any problems either of the streams last night or the night before.
Right? So, I don't know, man. That's really crazy. I don't have any problems with mine, so I don't.
Yeah.
And I've done all kinds of tests on my end, and I don't have any issues or delays or problems or missing packets or anything like that by any stretch of the word. I mean, it's bloody crazy, man. But it does seem like the last 2 weeks, though, it's been really kind of weathery.
Yeah.
On Fridays. You know, last Friday we got some snow and some wind and some rain and all the other happiness, right? And tonight it's real windy.
Yep.
And it's real windy up there your way.
Yeah.
You know, you're up there in Boston. I'm down here closer to Philly. It's not nearly as you would think, but it's been really windy here today, like gust up to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And usually when we get wind, we usually get power outage.
Yeah, well, I usually lose power. I'm actually surprised I haven't yet.
That's what I mean. We haven't. I mean, you know, knock on wood. But you know, usually that's kind of what happens. You know what I mean? When we get a lot of strong wind. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's really
all right. Let's just try and bang the rest of this out quickly. Let's skip a couple of the segments just for time's sake.
Yeah. That's no problem here, man. Which ones do you want to?
Best game of last week. I think we can just skip over that. I do want to do 3 stars.
Okay.
If we can lightning round hottest and coldest teams, just go like 3, 2, 1 through the list. That could be pretty quick. I definitely want to do picks because we didn't do that last week.
Yeah, I know. I figured. Yep, because I got them all set up.
If we have time for prospect watch at the end, we can do that. But...
Okay. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
We did our top shelf power rankings is Florida, Carolina, Colorado, Tampa Bay, and Toronto.
Yes, all by point percentage. 736 for Florida, 735 for Carolina, 712 for Colorado. Tampa
705 for Tampa Bay, and 700.
And Toronto 700.
Right. So let's do the 3 stars of the week.
Yes, 3 stars of the week. We talked about some great teams. Now we're going to talk about some great players coming in for the 3 stars this week. And at number 3, we have a goaltender.
Hey, second week in a row.
Always great to have a goalie on the list. We usually try to. But how about Marc-Andre Fleury? with a
Hey, making the
3-0-0
list.
record this past week, a 942 save percentage, 1.65 goals against average, stopped 81 out of 86 shots against.
He needs to play against his old team more often.
Yeah.
Right? Because that
Yeah.
totally sparked him.
Yeah, that
Right?
was an
That win
unreal
against
game.
Vegas. That win against Vegas is what got him on this 3-game ride here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that, like I said, he should play his old teams more often.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, he's played great. That was a huge game against
That one, he played great.
the
Yeah,
Golden Knights,
really
and
good.
it's really taken off. Fleury had a great week, and I mean, we're kind of seeing vintage Marc-Andre Fleury here with the way that he's played, and that's got him to be the third star of the week.
So welcome to the big club again.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't talked about him much as far as being in this kind of realm this year.
Not this year, but
yeah,
good to see him there now.
exactly. Especially with Chicago, and he might end up being one of those guys that could potentially be, trade bait.
Yeah.
For Chicago. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? If they trade him to a contender, I mean, there's so much speculation about him, but it's great seeing him up there. 942 save percentage, stopping all those shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good, man. That is definitely vintage Fleury right there.
Absolutely, 100%. So he's number 3. How about number 2? Number 2
Number
here.
2, Joe Pavelski from the Dallas Stars. Yeah, man, he had a really good week. 3 games played, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points, plus 5, and he's got 6 of those even strength.
Yeah.
So Joe Pavelski, I mean, who would have thunk Dallas? And Joe Pavelski, I mean, he's also their All-Star representative too, am I correct?
He is Dallas's All-Star representative, and man, 37 years old, still playing at a very, very high level.
Still rocking it. What is he, like 18 minutes of ice time on average?
Yeah, he's playing close to 20 minutes a game. He's a huge piece of the puzzle for Dallas. And
Exactly.
7 points in 3 games, that's never a bad thing, that's for sure.
We'll take that all day long, especially, helping Dallas put some wins on the board too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's probably more what he cares about. We look at the stats and go, hey, man, Joe, you had a pretty good week, man, 7 points. But he's probably more concerned about the wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
all right, that leaves
man,
number
here you
1.
Go. Number 1.
Brad Marchand, Boston Bruins. 7 goals in his last 4 games, added 3 assists as well. 10 points in 4 games, plus 2 rating. Doing it in all situations. 5 even strength points, 4 power play points, 1 shorthanded point. That was a great shorthanded goal against the Canadians.
Yes, it was.
And 2 game winners in this span as well. So 2 out of the last 4 games. Brad Marchand's had the game winner for the Boston Bruins. So he has had a monster week as he continues to rack up the offense this season.
Exactly. It really helped Boston, as it does all the other teams that play against Philadelphia. They get to rack up, points, goals, and all kinds of other great things. I believe they put up 5 on Philadelphia the first game, and then 3-2 the other game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, still, it helps when you get to put up points against that team, Yep. So, but yeah, great week for Brad, man. Just a great week. A lot of offense. I mean, still getting it done. I'm going to say this, and I think bringing Tuukka Rask back into the fold for Boston, and then with Marchand playing the way he's been playing, with the defense playing the way they've been playing, with the contributions they're getting from all their lines, especially Hall, especially, all their other guys.
Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what. I like Boston coming out of the Metro. I mean, they might not win the division, but I'll tell you what, man, I think Boston's going to be in the dance.
Yeah, I definitely fully expect them to be a playoff team. How far in the playoffs they'll go, I think that's going to depend on matchup.
Right.
I think that there's going to be a lot. That's going to be determined down the line. There's still a lot of hockey left to be played, but I do think they are definitely a playoff team, and they're starting to really get it together now, playing really, really well. The offense is coming from everybody now. They switched the lines up at the new year, and the new line combos have been awesome.
Doing well.
And that definitely has helped this team a lot. And now they're really starting to put some points on the board, some goals in the net for the first time this season.
Some wins on the tally, Yeah.
Yeah, and Marchand's obviously a big reason why with 10 points in 4 games. But that's 3 stars of the week here. Brad Marchand, number 1. Joe Pavelski, number 2. And Marc-Andre Fleury, number 3. All had phenomenal weeks. Now we're going to go through hottest and coldest teams. We're going to do this quickly. We're just going to kind of go through 3, 2, 1 as quick as we can. Obviously, starting with the hot, the good. We like to stay positive and do the good side of things first. So, hottest teams right now, 3, 2, 1. What do we have?
All right, we have the exact same list again.
Yes.
And so for number 3, we have the LA Kings. They are 7-3-0 in the last 10 games. They've put 3 wins together. Look, the only reason why they're not number 2 is because they have a full-on loss instead of an overtime loss.
Yeah, 2 and 3 were very, very close here.
So LA, I'll tell you what, I'm really liking what LA has been putting together, really liking what they've been doing.
Yep.
Watch out for LA and Anaheim. Those are the 2 California teams, man. You need to be paying attention to them guys at the end because they're putting it together.
LA is moved up into 3rd in the division. And I said before the season started that LA could be a dark horse playoff team. Well, here we are closing in on the halfway point of the year, and LA might be a dark horse playoff team. They're in a playoff spot right now.
I mean,
I'm very impressed with the Kings this year. They're doing a great job.
We talked about this in our preseason show where we did our predictions on who we thought was going to win the divisions and who was going to make the playoffs. And we felt that LA and Anaheim and somewhat San Jose, more so LA and Anaheim, were going to be fighting it out for that final playoff spot.
Yep.
Okay. And lo and behold, it sure looks like LA is fighting for that potential last playoff spot because Anaheim surely has a playoff spot already wrapped up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
45 points, second place, 39 games played. You would hope that Anaheim got a spot wrapped up, but San Jose's there at 41.
But, I mean, if they started now, if the playoffs started right now.
Oh yeah, no, LA and Anaheim would actually be the first round matchup in the Pacific.
Right.
That would
if the
be
playoffs
something.
started right, wouldn't that be cool?
That's awesome.
What I'm saying. All the way through, though, we felt that LA and Anaheim would be fighting it out.
Yeah.
For a playoff spot or something along those lines to be in contention.
And now they both might get in.
And who might they knock out is going to be the key.
Edmonton.
Oh, well,
Anyway, yeah, so Kings are in at number 3. Number 2, St. Louis Blues, 7-2-1 in their last 10 games, also on a 3-game winning streak. The only thing I had separating them was that the Blues only had 2 regulation losses and the Kings had 3. But really, they're both right around the same, playing great hockey right now and winning a lot of games. So good to see for the Blues, who continue to really make their presence known at near the top of the Central Division. Now just 1 point back of Nashville for first place.
And man, I'll tell you what, that Bennington's been playing well. Tarasenko's been playing well. O'Neill's been playing well. Everybody up there has been playing well in St. Louis. You know what I mean? And so that's the really cool thing up there too. So yeah, man, kudos to St. Louis for being the number 2 team on the hottest team list here, winning 3 games here, 7-2-1. And that's exactly right. That's the reason why they were number 2. The number 1 hottest team.
I can't believe it.
that we've already kind of talked about and already mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the Boston Bruins.
I can't believe it.
4 wins in a row, 7-3-0. Come on, why can't you believe it?
Because I didn't think Boston was going to be able to put a stretch together like this. The way that they played early in the year, the inconsistency.
Yeah.
I was not expecting them to just be able to put this kind of stretch together. And man, the new year has brought out a whole new team in the Boston Bruins, and they are on fire right now. 7-3-0 and a 4-game win streak.
And a whole new goaltender. Yes. And it's kind of played out the way we expected it to, where Swayman was the one that went because he has the 2-way contract, and Ullman was the guy that stayed up.
Yep.
With Tuukka Rask being signed.
Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what, that only bodes well for Boston. Having Tuukka Rask back and playing as well as he did in his opening night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
Yeah, he
for
played
not
well,
having played
especially
in a year,
first game in months since June of 2021. It's been a long time since he's seen game action.
Right. Well, NHL game action.
Any game action. He didn't play in Providence because the games got postponed.
Oh, that's right. The games got canceled or postponed or whatever. Yeah, that's right.
So that was his first game action. And
well, hey, then all right. He all right. It's pretty not bad for first game action.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Only 2 goals against and a win. I will gladly take it.
All day long, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, there you have it. So that's our hottest teams. Boston, number 1. St. Louis, number 2. LA Kings, number 3. And now we move to the not so positive end. The business end of cold.
Yeah.
The coldest teams we got here. And we're going to go 3-2-1.
Yes.
The coldest teams in the league. And, John, our lists are similar, just in a slightly different order.
Yeah, we have the same teams. We switched 2 and 3. But either way, I got Calgary in at number 3. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. They've lost 4 in a row. Really bad stretch here for the Calgary
what happened
Flames.
to that? Yeah, man.
And they've actually dropped out of a playoff spot in the West. They've dropped all the way down to 5th, and Edmonton's down in 6th as well.
6th. So. It's funny when you kind of look at it a different way. Edmonton makes this list as cold ones, but when you look at the teams that in their last 10 games and you look at the number of wins that each of these teams have, the only reason why I put Montreal is because they did have an overtime tie, even though they have one of the worst records right now in the last 10 games. I have Calgary at number 2, even though they actually have more wins than any of the other 2 teams ahead of them. Yeah. So, I mean, but they've lost 4 in a row. And Seattle, of course, number 1, coldest team. Yeah. They've lost 5 in a row.
5 straight. 1 win out of 10. Yeah.
I really want to try to like these guys, man. I really do, John, but they're not letting me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a rough go here, and it's not like they're getting blown out either. They're losing close games, 4, like they're winnable games, and they're losing and finding ways to lose those winnable games. So it's been a tough stretch here for the Kraken. Hopefully they can turn it around soon, but right now they are the coldest team in the NHL, 1-7-2 in their last 10, and on a 5-game losing streak.
Not good, guys. Not good. So now we're going to move into another really fun thing that we like to do, and that is our game picks for Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. We haven't done this in a while because there was very, 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 very minimal games that were available, and when we did get to do this, we were off dates.
Yeah,
and off times.
We were recording on Sunday, so Saturday had already happened. And...
so we missed.
Yeah.
So we get this one. We don't even get the full slate of games, but we do get a good slate of games. And so we'll get into them here. And these are always fun because we just like to, have some fun. We're just picking teams who we think's going to win. This is nothing for anything special. But just to give everybody updated, we got John and I are both tied at 60 and 45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So... here we go.
Yeah, let's get into it.
This is going to be the tiebreakers right here. And the first game on the docket, these are for Saturday night matchups, the 15th of January. First game on the docket is one of the teams that we've talked about very much this show, the Boston Bruins versus the Nashville Predators in Boston.
Man, this is a tough one because Nashville, up until their loss against Buffalo last night, was absolutely tearing it up. They had won 12 out of 14 games. Then they lose that game to Buffalo, and it kind of puts a seed of doubt in your head about the Preds. Boston, obviously, we talked about the hottest team right now, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Man, I hate doing this because I'm usually so pessimistic, but I'm going to go with the Bruins here. I'm going to go with the Bruins on home ice. I think this is going to be a fun game, but I'd like to think that Boston can stay hot and keep it going.
Gosh, man, this is going to be a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But this being a home ice game and this probably being a Tuukka Rask night, I'm going to probably lean Boston as well here, my friend.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, man. Vancouver at Carolina.
Carolina. They got absolutely blasted by Columbus last night. Like, embarrassing, disgraceful home loss. I expect the
Hurricanes. 6-0 or something?
Yeah, 6-0. Yeah. I expect a very angry Carolina Hurricanes team. I'm praying for the Vancouver Canucks going into this game. I think a lot of frustration is going to be let out by the Hurricanes on the Canucks tomorrow.
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to say, Carolina, move along. Because, yeah, when you get thumped like that.
Leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
And being the next team up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry for what we're about to do to you, but we're going to absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to make it look horribly, disgustingly easy, and we're just going to grind your nose into it anyway. So,
yeah.
Boy, have I seen Carolina firsthand do that to teams. Anyway, Washington at the Islanders.
Oh, man. Caps have been struggling. Islanders, obviously well known what a year they've had or what a not good year they've had. Man, I'm going to take the Caps here, but I feel like this is going to be a closer game than some people think.
I don't think so. I think the Islanders are dropping away even more so. The engines have come off a little bit, and they're just kind of coasting backwards now, I believe. And I don't know, man. This kind of almost has that makings of a trap game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, I don't think so. I got Washington on this. I just think Washington's just the better team this year.
Oh, they're certainly the better team, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I don't even have an inkling of hope for the Islanders this year at all. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All right, next game is Columbus Blue Jackets at the Florida Panthers.
Can Columbus pull off the same game that they did against Carolina last night on Saturday? I'm going to go ahead and say no. Give me the Florida Panthers, please.
Yeah. Florida's had a good week.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's going to continue.
Yep.
And they're not going anywhere. This is getting to be one of those teams, I think, that they expect to win when they walk into the building.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I'm liking that swagger.
Yep.
I'm really liking the Florida Panthers this year. I'm really liking that. So I'm picking the Florida Panthers on this one as well, too. All right. Toronto at St. Louis.
Give me the Blues at home, going for first place in the division. 1 point back. Give me the Blues. I'm taking St. Louis in this one. I want to see a big Blues performance on home ice. Prove that you are one of the top teams in the West. This is a game for the Blues to go out there and make a statement and prove that they're one of the top teams in the West. So I'm going with them.
It would be exactly what you said. It would be a statement game. for sure. You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm gonna have to go the other way here on this.
Perfect.
Because
our first difference.
Yeah, but I just like Toronto on this one. For some reason, man, I don't know. I just like Toronto on this one. The way they played against Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like Toronto, so we'll go with Toronto.
All right, Buffalo.
Here we go. First difference.
Yeah, perfect. We'll see. One's going to be right, one's going to be wrong. Buffalo versus Detroit up next.
Ooh, gosh. Can you say coin flip?
I have a pick in this one that I like Detroit at home. Detroit's been a good home team this year. They're bad on the road. They're bad on the road. But at home, they've won a lot of games on home. Like, just quickly here, Detroit record difference on home ice. They are 12-6-2. On the road, they are 4-11-3. That is a stark difference between home and away for the Red Wings.
And if you look down there, you'll see Buffalo is pretty much the same on the away card.
Yeah.
I think they have 5 wins.
Yep.
Right, for the away side, right? So, yeah, you definitely have to go with Detroit on this one. Detroit playing at home, hey!
Yeah, I'll take the Wings on home ice.
For sure. Now, here we go. Dallas at Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh boy, Tampa Bay. Dallas on that tough Florida trip. Florida and Tampa. Actually, they played tonight against Florida and got absolutely destroyed. Tampa Bay Lightning, please.
That's why I was just gonna say, they played tonight, so I gotta go with Tampa Bay on that one all day long. All right. Here is the easiest pick probably on the board. The New York Rangers.
We don't even need to say who they're playing. Right? I'm taking the New York Rangers. It is against the Philadelphia Flyers. And, I'm taking the Rangers in that one. That's for sure.
Doesn't even matter. All right. Anaheim versus Chicago.
Oh, man, that's tough because Chicago's playing a little bit better. I don't think
– okay, yeah – Fleury has played better.
3-0 in his last 3 games.
Okay, but Anaheim is a much better team.
Yeah, Anaheim's losing tonight.
So they're playing tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have the second half of a back-to-back.
Chicago waiting.
I'm going to go for the upset there. I'm going to take the Hawks.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Hawks with an upset there. Anaheim on a back-to-back, and Anaheim's starting to hit some bumps in the road here. Their last few games, they've been very up and down. They're losing to Minnesota tonight. I'm going to take the Blackhawks there, hoping that Fleury plays. If Lankinen's in goal tomorrow, I recant this pick. But
I'm with you on that too.
But as long as Fleury's in goal, I think the Blackhawks can win this game.
I definitely am with you on that for sure. If he's not in goal, then I would have to go Anaheim on this one for sure. All right, and our Colorado versus Arizona.
It's funny because they're playing right now and they play again tomorrow, except this time in Arizona.
So it's reverse. So they're playing in Colorado now.
It's a home and home, but I'm gonna go Colorado still. I mean, come on, it's Colorado and it's Arizona.
It's Arizona. All right, L.A. versus Seattle.
L.A. You've got a very hot team against a very cold team, so I'm gonna go with the hot team, and that's the L.A. Kings.
Have to. That was that's the second easiest, third easiest pick on the board.
Yeah.
The Rangers, the Colorado, and the LA. That was the easiest one. Ottawa versus Edmonton in Edmonton.
Ottawa just upset Calgary. Keep the upset train rolling, boys. I'm going with the Ottawa Senators. Also, I think Edmonton is an absolute mess right now. I'm going to go with Ottawa here. Random upset, but I don't like what I'm seeing from the Oilers.
I don't call this an upset. I think Ottawa's going to win this. Is it true that Edmonton is going to sign Evander Kane? Is that?
It's looking that way. Nothing's official yet, but it is looking that way.
Okay. You know, when a professional looks at you and gives you that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
read the subcontext in that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last one here. Pittsburgh versus San Jose Sharks. This is easy for me.
Pittsburgh got blasted by LA. I don't think they can. They're not going to have they're not going to have an all bad road trip. I got Pittsburgh here.
This was another pretty. What can I say? I picked against San Jose and they beat the Flyers. So I'm going to pick Pittsburgh. So hoping that San Jose wins. So there you go.
All right. There are our picks for Saturday, tomorrow's games. Obviously, a lot of games in the NHL tomorrow. And we'll see how they go. Hopefully, we can pick up more wins than losses come tomorrow.
We do have a couple of differences in here. I think we have one.
Yeah, we only have one.
Yeah, we have one difference.
St. Louis and Toronto is the only game we're different on. So not going to have the same record. Not going to have the same record. That one will be a tiebreaker if needed. So
this will be the tiebreaker here. So there you go, man. Those are our game picks for Saturday the 15th.
All right. That's doing it for game picks. Let's finish up with Prospect Watch here. Talk about some great young players. We'll go through this rather quickly. Steele, I'll let you go first. Who's your Prospect Watch for this week?
I got Justin Barron or Justin Barron.
Yeah.
Right-hand shot defenseman, 20 years old.
Yep.
6'2". He's 195 pounds. He was drafted by said Colorado Avalanche in the first round, number 25 overall in the 2020 draft. And I'll tell you what, for a defenseman playing for the AHL Eagles, Colorado Eagles, 18 games played, 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points. He's a +4 player. He's also been called up for 2 games with the Avs. 2 games played. He has 0 goals, 0 assists, and 0 points. But he's a defenseman, and he's also 20 years old.
Yes.
But
very good player.
Pretty darn good player. Waiting in the wings for them as a right-hand shot defenseman. 6'2", 195 pounds, knows how to put the biscuit in the basket, knows how to make plays, you know what I mean, and can play that defensive, is responsible, you know what I mean, plays that defensive game, but can step up and be offensive when needed.
Yeah, so when Colorado traded for Darcy Kemper this past offseason, and they included Connor Timmins in that deal. The reason I think they were comfortable including Connor Timmins in that deal is because they knew that they had Justin Barron coming up.
Yeah.
And, they knew they had Barron waiting in the wings, still probably a year or two away, but he in that pipeline to come up on that back end. I think that's what made them comfortable moving Timmins.
Yeah.
And now Barron, obviously playing well in the AHL, and it's going to be, sooner rather than later, he's going to be up as a full-time NHLer.
I think he's the taxi squad right now, or something along those lines, where probably. he has been called up for 2 games so far this year.
Yep.
So it's all going to depend on how things roll, but as long as they give him a reason to keep him up here, they're going to keep him up.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And, really good young defensive prospect.
Exactly. So who do you got, John?
Oh, we mentioned him earlier with the U.S. Olympic team, Sean Farrell from Harvard University. Harvard. 20 years old, forward, can play center or wing. On the smaller side, kind of that Braden Point size, 5'9", 174 pounds. Drafted down in the 4th round, 124th overall by the Montreal Canadiens in 2020. But he is having a heck of a year with the Crimson this year in the NCAA. 13 games played, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points, and a +4 rating. And obviously also, as you talked about earlier, selected to the U.S. Olympic team for 2022 in Beijing. So well over a point per game in college this year, putting up a lot of offense, and a very good playmaker. Can score as well. Just a solid young forward prospect for the Canadiens.
Well, there you go, man. I thought that he was going to be somebody that he might be one of those ones that's going to take a little longer just because of his size.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 5'9", 174 pounds. They might want to let him get a little thicker, maybe. See if he maybe gets another inch or two on him. Maybe, I don't know. He might be stuck there at that, but they'll probably let him see if he does well here in the Olympic team. Yeah. I think that's only going to bode well for him down the road.
Absolutely, for sure. So those are our prospect watch for this week. Two very good young up-and-coming players who are playing well in their respective leagues right now, one in college, one in the AHL, and prospects to watch down the line that will hopefully become full-time NHL players for the teams that drafted them. So
for sure. At least that's what their teams are drafting.
That's what
the
they're
team
hoping
that drafted them is what they're hoping for.
But anyway, with that is going to bring us now to the end here of episode 51 of the Off the Wall Hockey Show. It's a hockey show for hockey fans, part of the Steel Flyers All Sports Network. Apologies for the internet issues, everybody, but we were able to get it in. We're able to get through it, and that's going to do it for this week.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Steel, thank you again so much for being on, the co-host, and doing this show. And, man, we got another great week of NHL hockey coming up.
I'll tell you what, I would like to thank John for all you do. Really appreciate everything that you do for Steel Flyers All Sports Network. Also, really appreciate all the great streamings that you do and all the great games that you call. If you guys aren't following him, you need to check him out for sure. You can check him out at www.steelflyers.link/off the wall hockey. You can find him there. You can also check him out on YouTube. We have the show out on Spreaker, which means you can hear the show on iHeartRadio. You can hear the show on Apple. You can hear the show on Spotify, Google, Amazon, iHeart. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can also check out the show there. So go check them out and let us know. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the button, man. Let us know. Also, big props and thanks to Manscaped. Yes. Really appreciate the sponsorship of Manscaped coming to the show. Really appreciate that. If you guys don't know, be in the know. Get the tools. Look good in the bedroom for sure. We talk about it because we use the products. Manscaped is definitely the product that you need to take care of all the things that you need to take care of in that down there area. So thank you very much to Manscaped. Yes. Check them out. You can go to manscaped.com, get 20% off your order by typing in OTWH. That's Off the Wall Hockey. Yep. Type in OTWH to go in the promo code and get 20% off your order. I don't care about what anybody says. If you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, go to Manscaped and get what you need for yourself.
Definitely. So big thank you to them as well. And a big thank you to all of you for watching and listening. We obviously would not be here without you. So thank you guys so much. And we'll be back next week with episode 52. And we'll have a whole new week of NHL action to talk about. With that, that's going to bring us to the end of this one. Thank you guys again, and see you next time.